Intellectual property is a minefield for entrepreneurs. Stake is not the first company that I founded. As entrepreneurs, we have to focus on building and growing our companies. But the problem is that there's so many ancillary issues that come up as we're doing that. You want to think about human resources, marketing, compliance, and who can forget accounting. It's no wonder that IP takes a backseat and often remains an unknown for too many startups. But the problem with not knowing what your IP is that you end up with a company that's undervalued, undercompetitive, and unfortunately can be spending a lot more money protecting things that don't actually matter to the company. That's why we do our best at Stake to load up the front end of every project with strategy. No matter whether it's a single office action response or it's a whole company IP portfolio, we start up front talking about strategy. What does the company want to get out of that IP portfolio? Because there's a bunch of ways that an IP portfolio can use. So one of the first questions, though, that I often get from prospective clients is, what kind of IP can I protect? Here's the lowdown on the different types of IP. So patents are for inventions. You want to think about how a thing is built or what the thing does. Trademarks are for brands. You want to think about how you're getting the market to identify you as the source of that thing. You want to think your logo, your name, things like that. Copyrights are for creative works. Normally, we think about creative works as like music and books and movies and things like that, which they are, which are protectable by copyright. But a company that is bringing things to market is also creating a lot of content. You want to think about the videos, the blog posts, the white papers that you're putting out to describe the thing that you're bringing to the market. That falls into the domain of copyright. Trade secrets are for those internal things that you actually get value because you keep them secret. You want to think about that black box API access magic that you're building, or even the secret recipe that you're holding in the safe. The problem with the 4 buckets of IP is that entrepreneurs often discover them too late. What I mean by this is that founders often will have an issue before they actually start to lean into their IP strategy. That's why at Stake, we do our best to load up the front end with strategy. Even in our marketing content, we share strategy tips because it's important to set this up early, to show clients early how they can start building out and directing an IP strategy. I recently had a CEO ask me, how can I stop these knockoffs? Question and response was, what's your strategy? The problem was that there wasn't really a robust IP strategy in place. So that's where we started. Now, this is a small company, so we didn't have the ability to put together a huge IP strategy involving multiple patents, multiple copyrights, multiple trademarks, and things like that. We set up a simple strategy that involved a patent, a copyright, and a trademark. And we tailored these things in timing, in scope, in budget, and in prioritization in order to maximize the effectiveness to achieve the goal, which was to stop the knockoffs. We put the strategy into execution, and guess what? The client now has a growing IP portfolio to defend the value that they're actually bringing to the marketplace. This is just one example of why strategy touches everything we do at Stake. If you want to learn more about how to discover your IP and your IP strategy, sign up for our upcoming webinar on August 1st. Links down in the comments here. Ultimately, companies need to have an IP strategy at the outset.